Big setback to Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal. High Court rejects Kejriwal's plea against ED arrest. High Court says money trail established. Arrest was legal. BJP ups the ante against Arvind Kejriwal.
माननीय उच्च न्यायालय ने श्री केजरीवाल के संदर्भ में जो निर्णय दिया है उससे तथ्यों के कठोर धरातल पर आम आदमी पार्टी का अहंकार चकनाचूर हो गया है।
Will Kejriwal continue as Chief Minister? Top focus on 5 Live.
Well, trying to play the sympathy card has hit a really big wall called the Delhi High Court for the Aam Aadmi Party and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Not only has his arrest plea been dismissed by the High Court, they've had some very scathing comments. I'm going to summarize those for you in just a moment right here on 5 Live. First, as always, the headlines. Huge setback for the Delhi Chief Minister. Delhi High Court dismisses his arrest plea, says his arrest is not illegal. Sources say Kejriwal will move Supreme Court next. Kejriwal arrest showdown peaks. BJP says High Court verdict has shattered the Aam Aadmi Party's arrogance. Aam Aadmi Party hits out, calls Liquorgate the case the country's biggest political conspiracy. Trinamool Congress versus Delhi Police. TMC calls off 24-hour quote-unquote dharna, claiming misuse of central agencies. Delhi cops claim Trinamool netas using police station for politics. They weren't even arrested, but they still stuck around inside the police station. Is this drama or protest? Prime Minister Modi's Mission 2024 in top gear after a big Pilibhit rally. Prime Minister to visit Tamil Nadu for the 7th time with a mega road show in Chennai coming up in an hour from now. It's final. Udhav Sena to contest from the contentious Sangli seat. Udhav Sena gets 21 seats. Congress has to settle for 17, while Sharad Pawar faction gets 10 seats. It's a big snub to the Congress party, having to let go of Sangli. Delhi High Court Judge Justice Swarnakanta Sharma has had some of the most scathing comments for Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, currently lodged under judicial custody in Tihar jail on a plea to strike down his arrest by the Enforcement Directorate. It comes as a huge setback for the Delhi Chief Minister at a time when his party, the Aam Aadmi Party, has been trying to project his arrest as a criminal conspiracy by the Modi government. The Delhi High Court today not only rejected Arvind Kejriwal's plea against the Enforcement Directorate arrest on the 1st of March, a couple of weeks ago, but the Delhi High Court in its verdict made some stunning observations against the Delhi Chief Minister and termed the arrest as completely legal. And that in itself is a huge setback to everything that the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying so far. Justice Swarnakanta Sharma observed that Kejriwal conspired with others and was involved in taking kickbacks as the Aam Aadmi Party convener. The money trail to the Goa elections was established and the statement of approvers cannot be questioned, says the High Court. Now the Aam Aadmi Party is exploring more legal options and has just announced that it will be moving the Supreme Court, which is its next legal recourse, tomorrow. Meanwhile, the BJP has gone up against the Aam Aadmi Party and asked Arvind Kejriwal to resign as Delhi Chief Minister immediately. The big question now is, can Arvind Kejriwal continue as Chief Minister from behind bars after such a scathing verdict from the Delhi High Court?
आज जो फैसला आया वो फैसला जज ने बहुत मेहनत के बाद, सारा एविडेंस देखने के बाद, केस फाइल देखने के बाद, सारी जांच करने के बाद जजमेंट दिया है और न्याय किया है। और कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा है कि एविडेंस मिला है और एविडेंस जो है मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग और मनी ट्रेल पूरा मिला है। ये सारी जिक्र जो है, ये सारा जिक्र जो है जजमेंट में है। अभी मैंने जजमेंट पढ़ा नहीं है, जजमेंट मेरे हाथ में आएगा, पढ़ूंगा, उसके बाद मैं विशेष टिप्पणी करूंगा। कोर्ट ने कहा कि नहीं, ये जो है ईडी और अरविंद केजरीवाल के बीच की मैटर है, इसमें सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कहीं नहीं आती है।
उन्होंने तो सीधे सीधे अपनी अभिरक्षा को ही, यानी अपनी हिरासत को ही चुनौती दी थी। अहंकार यह था कि मुझे छूट नहीं चाहिए, मुझे दूसरे को गलत साबित करना, इसलिए मैंने कहा कि वह अहंकार चूर चूर हो गया है। क्योंकि माननीय न्यायालय ने जो अभी मीडिया में प्राप्त सूचना उसके अनुसार यह बिंदु स्पष्ट कहा है, कोर्ट क्लैरिफाइज दैट द पिटीशन इज फॉर डिसाइडिंग द अरेस्ट is illegal. Material collected by the ED reveals that the Kejriwal conspired was involved in formulation of excise policy.
The High Court order today against Mr. Kejriwal exposes that he is not Kattar Imandar but Kattar Bhrasht, and that there is prima facie material available against him, evidence available against him, that he not only formulated the said Ghotalebaz policy but he was involved in taking kickbacks. They keep saying, Aam Aadmi Party keeps saying that there is no money trail, but the money trail has been established by the court. It has said that it was used for Goa elections. They keep raising doubts over the approver, raising issues like electoral bond, etc. All of those have been dismissed by the High Court. In fact, they said that raising such questions would actually be questioning the judicial process itself. And today there is no victimhood card or wriggling room available for Aam Aadmi Party. And the question is only this: is there any moral right left for Mr. Kejriwal to continue, and that too from Tihar jail?
आज मानयोग हाई कोर्ट ने अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की याचिका जो कहती थी कि उनको इलीगली अरेस्ट किया गया है, उसको उसके ऊपर फैसला सुनाते हुए ये कहा, ये स्पष्ट कर दिया कि जो कहा जा रहा था आम आदमी पार्टी के द्वारा कि अप्रूवर के बिहाफ पे केस बनाया गया है, ये गलत है। मानयोग हाई कोर्ट ने कहा अप्रूवर ईडी के सामने या सीबीआई के सामने बयान नहीं देता। अप्रूवर 164 के तहत कोर्ट के जज के सामने बयान देता है, मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने, और उसको ऊपर सवाल उठाना, ये जुडिशरी सिस्टम के ऊपर सवाल उठाना है, जज के ऊपर सवाल उठाना है, उनकी मंशा के ऊपर सवाल उठाना है।
कई गवाहों के बारे में बार बार कहा जा रहा है कि गवाहियां हैं। मैं आपको कुछ गवाहों के बारे में बताना चाहता हूं कि उनकी गवाही किस तरीके से ली गई। बार बार कोर्ट्स में ऑन रिकॉर्ड ये बात आई है कि गवाहों के ऊपर दबाव डाला गया, गवाहों को मारा गया, पीटा गया, डराया गया, धमकाया गया, और उनके ऊपर यह दबाव बनाया गया कि वो अपनी पुरानी गवाही बदल के वो गवाही दें जो ईडी कह रही है, जो केंद्र सरकार की एजेंसी कह रही है, वो गवाही दें।
Now, I want to summarize for you once again, viewer, just how scathing those observations are by Justice Sharma of the Delhi High Court. Just take a look at the words used by the Delhi High Court while dismissing the plea against arrest by Kejriwal. Number one, Kejriwal conspired with others. Not our words, not the BJP's words, not the Congress's words. These are Delhi High Court words. Kejriwal involved in taking kickbacks. Kejriwal generated proceeds of crime. Kejriwal involved in personal capacity. Kejriwal involved as the Aam Aadmi Party convener. Doubting statements equals to doubting court. Not the first case with approver statements. Trial with approver statements not new. The Enforcement Directorate had enough material for this arrest. Who gives tickets, who purchases bonds, not the court's concern. Judges bound by law, not by politics. These are the words of Justice Swarnakanta Sharma of the Delhi High Court. I want to bring in all of my reporters who've been bringing us this story, reporting on this story and the political and legal fallout. Shreya Chatterjee is with us live from the Delhi High Court, as is Shrishti Ojha. Also with me is Amit Bharadwaj, who tracks the Aam Aadmi Party. Munish Pandey will be joining us also in just a moment from now. We've got Nalini also tracking all the legal developments and fallout. Shrishti, quickly coming to you first. It's one thing for the BJP or, earlier the Congress to make these comments, about kickbacks, about the involvement of Arvind Kejriwal, etc. It's a whole new dynamic when the High Court, uses the same words, uses these words. Put that into perspective for us in terms of how much of a setback this is for Arvind Kejriwal, legally speaking?
Well, Shiv, definitely a huge setback for Arvind Kejriwal because, as you rightly pointed out, these are not political statements which are being made by politicians. High Court, a constitutional court, has today made very strong remarks, not just about the excise policy matter, but about Arvind Kejriwal's involvement in this particular case while refusing to set aside his arrest. Court has clearly said that Arvind Kejriwal not only conspired with other accused in this case, but also was actively involved in taking kickbacks and also generating and transfer of proceeds of crime, which is a huge remark as far as an accused in a money laundering case is concerned. Now, if we see the High Court's remarks in terms of arguments that were made on behalf of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, firstly, the legality of arrest. Court has clearly said his arrest was legal, so was his remand. All the mandates as provided under law were followed. All the procedural formalities were also fulfilled by both ED and also the court. So the arrest is legal. Secondly, the necessity of arrest. Court has clearly said ED was in possession of enough material to arrest Delhi's Chief Minister. In fact, High Court has gone a step ahead and also said that non-cooperation by Arvind Kejriwal, referring to when he refused to respond to the summons or to be questioned by ED in response to their summons, the court has said that was also a contributing factor to his arrest. Not the sole factor, but definitely an important factor. Thirdly, political arguments that were brought in by his lawyers. Court has said that political considerations cannot be brought to court. It's not a case of central government versus Arvind Kejriwal. It's a case of ED versus Arvind Kejriwal. As far as Arvind Kejriwal's lawyer saying that, a sitting chief minister is arrested, court has also again said that there can't be a separate law, a separate category of law for common citizens and a separate law just to provide privileges to a sitting chief minister. Also, with regard to his arrest being done right before the upcoming Lok Sabha elections or his arrest right after announcement of the Model Code of Conduct, the court has questioned the logic of arguments on behalf of Kejriwal and said that if they accept Kejriwal's argument, it would basically mean that Arvind Kejriwal would not have challenged his own arrest for being illegal had he been arrested by ED before the Model Code of Conduct was announced. And lastly, of course, about the approver's statements, court has said that it's a matter of trial. At this stage, a court cannot comment on whether the statements of the approvers were correct or not. If Mr. Kejriwal wants to question why the approvers did not name him in their initial statements, he can very well do so later on when during cross-examination in this case. The law of approvers is a very old law, is 100 years old law, has not been set aside till now, and it's not the first time in Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's case that the law of that the approvers' statements are being relied on by a probe agency. So definitely a big setback with regard to not getting a relief and also the very strong
you've put that into perspective for us because the dynamic of a court actually saying this rather than the political rivals of Arvind Kejriwal saying it, takes it entirely to the next level. I'll go to Amit in just a moment, but I want to quickly bring Shreya in as well because she's been tracking the investigation. Shreya, things like Kejriwal's conspired with others, Kejriwal involved in taking kickbacks, Kejriwal generated proceeds of crime, Kejriwal involved in personal capacity, Kejriwal involved as Aam Aadmi Party convener. These are things one normally hears, from ED sources or, let's leave the politics out of this, from the ED or from the investigative agencies. This is coming from a court. So not only will the ED, I hazard to guess, will be seeing what the High Court has said today as something of of a vindication, but give us a sense of how this impacts the probe itself.
Well, Shiv, it only suggests that what the Aam Aadmi Party was saying does not really stand a legal ground. And when we hear the statements that have come in from the Delhi High Court, the court has very categorically said that the Enforcement Directorate has furnished evidence at hand which suggests that Arvind Kejriwal was involved in the crime. Evidence in the form of statements by the Hawala the ones who were involved in the Hawala scheme, The others, for example, the Goa Aam Aadmi Party candidates, and apart from that, also the approver statements. Very categorically, what the court has suggested that the ED's evidence is enough to actually direct that Arvind Kejriwal is somewhere down the line linked in generating the proceeds of the crime, and hence the arrest cannot be challenged. The court has also said that in this particular case, the rigors of Section 70 of the PMLA, which penalizes a company offences, is something that also applies fit. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate earlier had said that Aam Aadmi Party over here should be looked at as a company, and since Arvind Kejriwal is a convener, it is important to investigate his role. So somewhere down the line, as you rightly pointed it out, today's observations and the order somewhere down the line vindicates the investigation that is being done by the Enforcement Directorate.
Okay, I've told you what the High Court has said. Now, it's very interesting to compare with what the Enforcement Directorate's charges against Arvind Kejriwal are. And these are from the remand copy, which we've been reporting on. Just take a look at these points and remember what the High Court has said. 1. Kejriwal is kingpin of the Delhi excise scam. Conspiracy for formulating excise policy to favour certain persons. Involved in demanding kickbacks from liquor businessmen. Involved in use of proceeds of crime in Aam Aadmi Party's Goa poll campaign. Vijay Nair received 100 crore rupees on behalf of Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party from the South Group. Payments for Goa campaign made through the Hawala route. All of this on record in the remand copy that was filed by the Enforcement Directorate during Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. Munish Pandey is also with me, and I want to get a perspective for him. He reports on the Enforcement Directorate. Munish, what are you hearing from the ED? You know, the narrative so far from the Aam Aadmi Party's side, legally and politically, has been, this is conspiracy, there is no evidence. This is an attack to oppress the Aam Aadmi Party in election season. How much stronger does the ED's case get as a result of these words by the Delhi High Court?
Well, Shiv, let me tell you that I spoke to multiple sources within the Enforcement Directorate, and the ED officials were also waiting for the High Court's judgment. Why? Because Arvind Kejriwal is not a common person. He is a high-profile politician. He is the Chief Minister of a national capital, and he is convener of a national party. So they were also waiting because in remand application hearing also we saw that there were a battery of lawyers which fought the case for Arvind Kejriwal, and at this point of time ED officials were waiting for the High Court decision, because this decision was only on one application of Arvind Kejriwal, that his remand and arrest by Enforcement Directorate was illegal. But it will have a larger impact on the overall investigation being conducted by the Enforcement Directorate, and including certain individuals and officials, because the officials are someone who were feeling little threatened by the way Aam Aadmi Party was projecting a political narrative. For example, when Arvind Kejriwal remand application was being heard before the court, Arvind Kejriwal took the opportunity to speak before the court, and he said that his arrest was based on only 4 statements which were recorded by the Enforcement Directorate, and these 4 statements were of the approver, were armed twisted by the Enforcement Directorate on behest of Bharatiya Janata Party, and that is why he has been arrested. But High Court's order today has settled multiple issues, and which is going to be beneficial for the Enforcement Directorate. Number 1 was regarding the approver, which Shreya explained just a while back. The second one was money trail, because Aam Aadmi Party has been alleging from last 1.5 years there is no money trail. The court today observed that there is material evidence against Arvind Kejriwal, and because he is a citizen of India, he should not be discriminated only on the basis of his power or his position. Apart from that, there are multiple issues which the Enforcement Directorate officials were little intimidated by. For example, when it came down to money trail, or when it came down to technical evidence, all these matters have been settled by the Enforcement Directorate, by the court today, and the ED officials now they are feeling they feel like they have got a booster dose from the High Court, and the investigation they will carry on the way they have been doing so far. And that is why we saw that not only Durgesh Pathak, but a very close associate and personal assistant of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, Bibha Kumar, was also questioned by the ED.
Nalini, coming to you, before I go to Amit for a political perspective on what the Aam Aadmi plans to do. But Nalini, the Aam Aadmi Party has already declared that they will be approaching the Supreme Court next, which is the next step that they have as far as their legal recourse is concerned. Obviously there's no second guessing what happens in the Supreme Court. We would never do that. But given the, very pointed, very sharp, very sort of strong nature of the comments that have been made by the Delhi High Court, getting into the specifics of some of those things, including, kickbacks and like Burish pointed out, there was enough material to support the arrest, etc. What really are the Aam Aadmi Party's chances?
Well, Shiv, today's order is going to play a very crucial role, like Manish said, essentially not only because this is an order directly related to Arvind Kejriwal, but also the kind of observations that have been made in this order. Number one, the High Court's categorically come out and said that the material that has been collected shows that Kejriwal conspired with others and was actively involved in taking kickbacks. This is also the first time, if I'm not wrong, where the court has clearly come out and said that a money trail, as far as at least the Goa elections are concerned, has been established by the Enforcement Directorate. And let's remember, Shiv, all of these observations are coming in from the High Court after going through the kind of evidence that the ED has against the Enforcement Directorate, because prior to his arrest, the High Court had specifically asked ED if they had any evidence against Kejriwal, and all of that evidence had been submitted before the High Court. So after going through all of that arrest, the High Court's come to the conclusion that there is actually enough material against Arvind Kejriwal to not only arrest him, but also to give the custody that was granted in his regard. Now, either way, we knew that the matter is going to end up in the Supreme Court. If Arvind Kejriwal had not lost before the High Court today, then the ED would have moved the Supreme Court challenging the order that had come in his favor. So either way, it's going to be the Supreme Court that will have to give its stamp of approval on every aspect. But keeping in mind that the High Court has given out such a detailed order detailing the role that Arvind Kejriwal played in the excise policy case, it's going to be an uphill battle for him to try and get any relief from the Supreme Court as well, because the Supreme Court is going to first check the legality of the High Court order, and only when they see if there is something wrong in the High Court order is when they're going to overturn it. So it is going to be an uphill battle for him and his lawyers, because it's not just the High Court order that's not going to work in his favor, but even the earlier orders that were passed by the trial court, where time and again Arvind Kejriwal has been remanded first to the ED custody and then twice to the judicial custody, are also likely to play a role. Lastly, if the Supreme Court asks for the evidence that was produced before the High Court to be produced before the Supreme Court as well, then it might mean bad news for Arvind Kejriwal, because the High Court has already been convinced by the evidence. If the Supreme Court also gets convinced, then it means that Arvind Kejriwal might be behind bars for a long haul.
And, the immediate question is also about whether he can continue as Chief Minister. Now, remember that I'm going to go to Amit in just a moment, but take a look at the Liquorgate case so far. Manish Sisodia was arrested in February 26, 2023. Sanjay Singh, October 5th, 2023. He's out on bail now after 6 months inside jail. March 15th, K. Kavita of the BRS was arrested. She remains in Tihar at this point, and Arvind Kejriwal is currently in jail, and he's just faced this setback. Politically speaking, Amit, coming to you now, what is the Aam Aadmi Party planning to do? There was something of a sort of tentative celebratory atmosphere after Sanjay Singh had been released on bail, a few days ago. But this must come as a huge, pause for the Aam Aadmi Party because of the scathing comments from the Delhi High Court. How are they planning to process this? Is there any thought process as far as changing Arvind Kejriwal as Chief Minister? Could he resign? What are you hearing?
Shiv, there are multiple things which needs to be noted out here, that Aam Aadmi Party is underlining something out here, is that, the similar arguments were made in Sanjay Singh's case, and the Delhi High Court had refused to give him bail. And when it went to the Supreme Court, it turned out that Sanjay Singh was granted bail, and all arguments that was reasoned by the Sanjay Singh's counsel were duly acknowledged by the Supreme Court. That's what Aam Aadmi Party is saying right now, and that is why they are saying that we're going to approach the Supreme Court, and they're hoping that some kind of relief will come from the apex court. Number one. Number two, they are also saying that, countering the BJP's claim specifically, because there cannot be a direct comment on the court judgment as well, saying AAP leaders are saying that look what has happened. 59 crores have been given by an accused who has turned approver to the BJP, Sharat Chandra Reddy, and Magunta Reddy, who's on the basis of whose son Raghav Reddy's statement Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested. He is now contesting on TDP's ticket, who is BJP's ally. So all these circumstances need to be taken into account, and that going ahead, Shiv, Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party said that how can you rely on these statements, whether it's being given under section 164 or in front of the ED, when it is very evident that these accused persons were threatened and under duress by the Enforcement Directorate, where he has cited the name of the other witnesses in the case as well, who had approached the court complaining about certain duress on them. So all these arguments will be taken forward in the plea that is to be taken in front of the Supreme Court. But lastly, Shiv, AAP has now given out a slogan which was actually given by Sanjay Singh on the day of release from Tihar jail. Jail ka jawab vote se. So that's going to be an attempt to galvanize the emotional factor into votes. Shiv.
Okay, thanks very much, Amit, and to all of our reporters for joining us on this, complicated, shape-shifting story with legal and political, angles to it that are constantly changing. And we'll have more on this on Primetime here on India Today. For the moment, thanks to all of our reporters for bringing us that perspective to give you a 360-degree understanding of this setback to Arvind Kejriwal. Well, it's a big political season and a scorching hot summer, especially in the national capital, where Trinamool MPs and leaders earlier were sitting on a 24-hour dharna demanding a change of guard in central agencies. They also protested inside a police station in Delhi despite not being arrested. After they were detained by the police on Monday, the police say the Trinamool leaders are free to leave since 6 p.m. last evening, but the Trinamool netas have refused to budge. Take a look.
Dramatic scenes at Delhi's Mandir Marg police station.
गेट क्यों नहीं खोल रहे हैं आप? गेट खोलिए. A police station is open to the public. It's a public space. How can you stop a citizen from going into a police station?
TMC leaders who were detained by the Delhi police on Monday during a dharna outside the EC's office continued their protest and refused to budge from the police station, even after being released by cops.
These central agencies are being used to cripple the opposition, to take the opposition's focus away from elections. Elections of 2024 are not going to be a level playing field.
Police said they had released the 10 TMC leaders, including MPs Derek O'Brien and Dola Sen, on Monday evening itself. But TMC netas stayed put through the night and continued their dharna.
कल अनपरमिटेड प्रोटेस्ट था जो रोड ब्लॉक की थी, उसके लिए डिटेन किया गया था और मंदिर मार्ग थाने में उनको ले जाके फ्री कर दिया गया था. इवनिंग में सनसेट से पहले ही बता दिया गया था कि वो फ्री हैं, लेकिन वो अपनी इच्छा से वहाँ बैठे हुए. वो थाने के बाहर भी गए, रात को गए हैं बाहर, अपना खाना पीना नहा धोना करके फिर वापस पुलिस स्टेशन में आए.
Bengal has seen mob attacks on teams of ED and NIA in quick succession during raids by probe agencies. But TMC calls the raids as vendetta by BJP and is seeking chiefs of the central probe agencies like ED, CBI, IT and NIA changed by poll panel.
हम अनाउंस किए थे कि हम इसी मांग पर, इसी डिमांड पर 24 आवर्स धरना करेंगे, लेकिन ये जानते हुए भी उन्होंने हमको उधर से, सब एमपीओ को उधर से बहुत घसीट के लेकर गए.
आप क्या कह रहे हैं सौरभ? आपको कहा गया है, क्यों नहीं जा रहे हैं इस वक्त? तो क्यों जवाब तो मुंह से नहीं बोल रहे, बस ऐसे करें. लोग आपके साथ हैं.
Opposition parties like AAP have backed TMC.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी कनॉट प्लेस के ऊपर प्रदर्शन करती है, टेंट लगाती है, माइक लगाती है, साउंड लगाती है, स्टेज लगाती है, तो दिल्ली पुलिस उनको गिरफ्तार नहीं करती, तो उनके ऊपर कोई मुकदमा दर्ज नहीं किया जाता. हमारे बंगाल से भाई बहन मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट आए हैं, इनको आपने जेल में बंद कर दिया।
BJP and Mamata traded charges.
चुन चुन के अरेस्ट करेगा, सबको जेल में भेजेगा। अरे अभी तो जेल हो गया, अभी तो हिंदुस्तान को जेल बना दिया, लोकतंत्र को अब जेल बना दिया, गणतंत्र को अब जेल बना दिया। आपका एक पॉकेट में NIA और एक पॉकेट में CBI, एक पॉकेट में ED, तो और एक पॉकेट में इनकम टैक्स। NIA CBI बीजेपी का भाई भाई।
ममता दीदी भ्रष्टाचार के प्रतीक बनती जा रही है। TMC उनके मंत्री पकड़ाते हैं, कोठली का कोठली पैसा मिलता है। हमारे सुरेंद्र मेहता कहते हैं पैसा गिनते गिनते मशीन चलाने वाला आदमी बीमार पड़ जाता है। तो जब इतना पैसा रखेंगे तो निश्चित रूप से ED का छापा पड़ेगा। ये वही लोग विरोध कर रहे हैं जो परिवारवाद और भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में हैं।
Who will win the latest round of Bengal battle playing out in Delhi? With Amit Bharadwaj in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And the Trinamool Congress versus Delhi police showdown has finally come to an end, with the Trinamool calling off its 24-hour dharna against the alleged misuse of agencies. They've called for new leadership of the CBI, ED, NIA, income tax, etc. The Trinamool has ended its sit-in protest at a Delhi police station. They were not arrested. They were taken there after protesting outside the Election Commission, but they decided to stay put there.
कल 4:30 बजे 5 बजे से इलेक्शन कमीशन के डेपुटेशन के बाद से अभी 4:30 बज चुके हैं। 24 आवर्स हो गया, हम धरने पे थे। कोई भी हमारे लिए अरेस्ट और डिटेंशन कुछ नहीं बताते हुए 12:30 के बाद उन्होंने बताया कि आप छुटकारा आप ले सकते हैं। तो इसीलिए हम जैसे कमिट किए, धरना पे रहेंगे। शांतिपूर्ण धरना में हम इलेक्शन कमीशन के ऑफिस के बाहर से जो स्टार्ट किए वो मंदिर मार्ग पुलिस स्टेशन में 24 घंटे तक हम जारी रखे थे।
The Lok Sabha polls begin in just 9 days from now. The first phase kicks off for the state of Tamil Nadu and others, but the big spotlight is on Tamil Nadu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is landing in Tamil Nadu very shortly. The Lok Sabha campaign is in top gear to make inroads into the south. The Prime Minister will be in Chennai in a very short while from now for a huge roadshow, his longest ever in Tamil Nadu, to canvass votes for the BJP candidates in South Chennai and Central Chennai. The Prime Minister's visit to the Tamil Nadu state capital comes a few days after Chief Minister M.K. Stalin dismissed any idea of a Modi wave in Tamil Nadu and predicted a DMK full sweep of the 39 seats that go to the polls in the first phase in Tamil Nadu. Earlier today, while addressing a political rally in UP's Pilibhit, the Prime Minister came down heavily on the opposition India bloc. Modi said that the opposition had tried to stop the Ram Mandir in court, but the BJP made the Ram Mandir dream come true. The Prime Minister further added that the opposition had insulted Lord Ram by boycotting the Pran Pratishtha.
परिवारवादी पार्टियों के नेताओं के पास से खुलेआम सैकड़ों करोड़ रुपए बरामद हो रहे हैं। नोट गिनने वाली मशीनें थक जाती है, बिगड़ जाती है, खराब हो जाती है, लेकिन कांग्रेस पार्टी और इंडी गठबंधन के लोग बिना किसी शर्म के खुलेआम भ्रष्टाचारियों पर कार्रवाई रोकने के लिए रैलियां कर रहे हैं। मैं कहता हूं, भ्रष्टाचार हटाओ। वो कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचारी बचाओ। इंडिया अलायंस में इकट्ठा हुए इन लोगों की मुझसे यही दुश्मनी है। 500 साल के इंतजार के बाद अयोध्या में भव्य राम मंदिर बना। चलो भाई आपने मंदिर बनने से रोकने के लिए अदालत में जो करना था कर लिया, आपने मंदिर न बने इसके लिए लाख कोशिश कर ली, लेकिन जब देश की जनता ने पाई पाई देकर के इतना भव्य मंदिर बना दिया, जब मंदिर वालों ने आपके सारे गुनाह माफ करके आपको प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के कार्यक्रम में सम्मानपूर्वक निमंत्रित किया, लेकिन आपने प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के निमंत्रण को ठुकरा दिया, आपने प्रभु राम का अपमान कर दिया।
And the Prime Minister's current visit to Tamil Nadu is his 8th visit to the state just so far this year. The big road show in Chennai for the two BJP candidates, Vinod P. Selvam and Tamilisai Soundararajan from Central and South Chennai, are going to be the BJP's big focus today with that roadshow by Prime Minister Modi. India Today's Shilpa Nair gets us this sense of the mood on the ground.
We are reporting from T Nagar in Chennai, where the excitement is already palpable for the Prime Minister's roadshow, which will of course begin in a short while from now. Prime Minister of course is undertaking a 1.5 kilometer roadshow here in Chennai, in the heart of Chennai city, campaigning for Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, who is the BJP's candidate for South Chennai, a prestigious seat which is seeing a three-cornered fight between the AIADMK, the DMK and the BJP, and the Prime Minister, of course, leaving no stone unturned to campaign for the party's candidate. And that is the reason why massive arrangements being made here in Chennai for the Prime Minister's roadshow. A lot of colour, a lot of excitement, and heavy security ring as well by the police department. With just days left for the elections in Tamil Nadu, the BJP star campaigner Prime Minister Modi is coming to ground, to campaign for the party's candidates to ensure that in 2024 the BJP registers a historic performance in the Dravidian land. With video journalist Daniel, this is Shilpa Nair for India Today. So we are here in T Nagar, where the Prime Minister's roadshow is just about to begin in a short while from now. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of colours, celebration. Everyone's gathering around to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister when he arrives. And joining me is this gentleman. Look at the speed at which he's tying this turban. And I've not seen something like this. It's quite fast. And I think in a matter of seconds, he's just finished tying that turban. Okay, so he's kept it for me, and in a matter of 2-3 seconds, I think he's finished tying up that turban. Why have you come here now?
I like Modi.
You like Modi?
He is the only leader of our nation today. He has done a lot of things for the country. The people should vote for him. Okay. I am for Modi. All the persons, those who know about our country, about the progress, they should vote for Modi.
Okay. Madam, आप बताइए आप बताइए कहाँ से हो?
We are Modi Parivar.
Okay.
Belong to Modi. Chennai se.
You want to see Prime Minister return to power for the third time?
100%. He will be. Certainly. Yes. Next time also he will be the Prime Minister.
Not 2024, you're saying the next 5 years.
Next time also he will be there. 100%. You want everything for Modi.
Clearly there's a lot of support for the Prime Minister. They're all excited, and you also saw the manner in which that person tried that turban. So this is the kind of mood on ground here in Chennai. Ahead of the Prime Minister's visit, he'll be campaigning for the South Chennai candidate of the BJP, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan. With just days left for the elections, the Prime Minister, the BJP star campaigner, leaving no stone unturned to ensure that the BJP puts up a historic performance this time around. With video journalist Daniel, this is Shilpa Nair for India Today.
And I want to go across to India Today's Shilpa Nair and Pramod Madhav, who've been reporting live from the route that this roadshow will be taking in a short while. Shilpa, we just played out those very fun reports that you sent us. Lots of excitement, lots of mood on the ground there. I'll just go to Pramod before I come to you. Pramod, how long is this particular roadshow? Is this one of the longest that the Prime Minister has done? Today is to canvass for the two Chennai candidates, Vinod Selvam and Tamilisai Soundararajan. What's the mood like on the ground?
Well, Shiv, we are currently standing at the spot where the Prime Minister is going to come. This is a particular road through which he would first come to this road. So the traffic is being cleared as we speak. And on the right side, this empty road that you see over here, this is the road. It's almost 1.8 kilometers, and this is the road exactly where the road show is going to happen. The interesting fact is that it's completely cordoned, and like continuously there's been monitoring, and there's like several hundred policemen are in this road alone. Public are only allowed access on right side and left side of the road where they can see the Prime Minister. In fact, you could see even now security vehicles are traveling at this spot. We are like, as per schedule, the show must start by 6:30, and it is expected to go for nearly an hour, and people have started to assemble here one after the other. In fact, even to stand at this spot, police are not allowing. That is the amount of security that's being provided over here. This is an extremely kind of road that will be very, like a lot of vehicles will move through this road. But for this particular road show alone, it has been secured in this manner, and any person, public, cannot go through this road. They have to go through specific checking, and only they are allowed over there. We can see a lot of excitement on this particular road, and this actual road goes to Ponti Bazaar. Shiv, you know Ponti Bazaar, how busy that place is, and now it is extremely deserted, all for the Prime Minister's visit, and public have started to gather on either side. You could see the crowd over there as well. Everybody waiting for the Prime Minister's road show, Shiv.
All right, Shilpa, the mood is there, the people are there, the crowds are there. That's not surprising at all, especially during election season. The Prime Minister arriving on his 8th visit, if I'm not mistaken, to Tamil Nadu just so far this year. He's also going to be coming a couple more times. And we also know that, MK Stalin in that interview to us just a couple of days ago just said, every time Modi comes to Tamil Nadu, it actually helps the DMK. So the battle is set in many ways. For the BJP, this is, perhaps its most ambitious fight. But they're leaving no stone unturned. The political pundits may say the BJP will, probably sort of make some kind of a small mark, maybe increase its vote share, etc. Who knows about seats? But the BJP is putting in all the work.
Well, absolutely. What all this shows is the intent of the BJP and the Prime Minister to make inroads in Tamil Nadu, a state that has been ideologically hostile towards the BJP, where the party has not been able to make inroads, reach the grassroots level. So, like you rightly pointed out, this is the 7th or 8th visit of the Prime Minister in the last couple of, months or days, especially ahead of the elections. Of course, this only goes on to show the intent of the BJP, the effort that they're putting in to ensure that this time around in 2024, they put up a historic performance in the Dravidian land. And in fact, we are at Tinagar. This is one of the starting points of the Prime Minister's roadshow. In just a short while from now, the Prime Minister will begin his roadshow. He'll be campaigning for the South Chennai candidate and also the Central Chennai candidate, Vinod P. Selvam and Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan. And what I want to show you are visuals of a group of persons with disabilities who have been waiting for quite some time here at Tinagar just to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. All of them, of course, seated here. I'm just going to speak to some of them here. Anna,
Modi ji பார்க்கிறதுக்காக வந்திருக்கேன் இன்னைக்கு.
Modi ji பிடிக்குமா?
ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
ஏன் பிடிக்கும்?
மோடி ஜி பல வகையான திட்டங்களை கொண்டு வந்துக்கிறாரு. பசுமை வீடு திட்டம் கொண்டு வந்துக்கிறாரு. ஹெல்த் இதுக்கு 5 lakhs வரலும் இலவசமா பாத்துக்கிறதுக்காக கொண்டு வந்துக்கிறாரு. அப்புறம் ஆட்சி வந்தா இன்னும் நிறைய பண்ணுவாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
What he essentially said is that he's come here to meet the Prime Minister, to see the Prime Minister. He says he likes him because he's brought in several schemes that have been beneficial for them, and that's the reason why they've come here. I'm just going to speak to more people. Akka neenga solunga edukkaga vandirukeenga?
மோடி ஜி பார்க்க வந்திருக்கோம்.
ஏன் மோடி ஜி?
அவரோட நலத்திட்டங்கள் 5 lakhs இது ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்கு. அதெல்லாம் வந்திருக்கோம்.
She is repeating the same thing that, I like Prime Minister Modi. He's brought in a lot of schemes and we like that, and that's the reason why they've come here. Akka,
நாங்க ராமபுரத்துல இருந்து வந்திருக்கோம். சார் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் அவரை. காலையிலேயே சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க, அதனால வந்திருக்கோம் பார்க்கறதுக்கு. ரொம்ப அவளோட காத்துட்டு இருக்கோம் பார்க்கணும்னு. நாங்க 2 மணில இருந்து காத்துட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Saying we've been waiting since 2 p.m. Because we like Prime Minister Modi. That's why we've come here. We got to know that he's coming to Chennai. In fact, I was speaking to all of them here and they said, look, we can't go and see the Prime Minister in other places. So now that he's coming to our city, we didn't want to waste this opportunity, and that's the reason why they've been waiting here for hours to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. And for the BJP, this is the sort of momentum and energy that they want to build on, going forward, especially ahead of the elections with just few more days left for the election. elections, the Prime Minister, the BJP star campaigner, of course, leaving no stone unturned, and he wants to ensure that with the constituencies that are keenly focusing on, he comes there, gives it all to ensure that, you know, the BJP can make inroads. This time around, they're aiming at a double-digit figure in terms of the vote share. Winning a couple of seats will be the icing on the cake for the BJP. So they believe we'll lay the foundation stone in 2024 and 2026 will be their game, is what the BJP believes.
All right, Pramod and Shilpa, thanks very much for joining me for the moment. Pramod and Shilpa will be reporting live on that roadshow, which you will be watching our coverage of starting 6:30 p.m. Thanks very much to both of you for joining me for the moment. We've got some breaking news coming in now. And the Election Commission has issued a show-cause notice to Congress leader Randeep Singh Surjewala over his caught-on-camera remarks allegedly on Hema Malini. The response from him has been sought by 5 p.m. A vulgar remark was allegedly made by Randeep Singh Surjewala about Hema Malini while he was making a political point during a rally. And the Election Commission has decided to take action against him and has sought his response and his defense on that comment by 5 p.m. day after tomorrow. Well, thanks for watching 5 Live. It's a wrap on today's show. I'll see you at the same time tomorrow.